stream on now. Let's see if it works.
The way it's looking, next week gonna be kind of slow. I'm not really seeing any like clear moves.
Mm.
We really just have to wait if we get like inducement of the lows to take price back up to the top of zone consolidations, and that's really it. Like as far as like clear cut trades, how it was last week, I'm not really seeing much of that. Price still setting up on a lot of pairs, so slow week, but still got the potential. It's the park session. I thought that she was gonna do it this morning. That's why I had marked my charts up this morning, but he did it a bit later into the day, so it's all good.
We'll see what we could get into. Everybody another 5 minutes to join. Yeah, I haven't seen the charts at all. I'm about to update them now.
Okay.
So I don't even.
Who do you have phone service with?
T-Mobile.
Oh, okay. I got mine with Verizon, and they having like a global outage or something like that, or like a national outage or something.
Damn Verizon.
Damn Verizon, man. Bro, so wait, am I sharing my mic?
um,
With the stream or not?
I don't know. Let me check. Talk real quick.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah, your voice is being shared. I can mute it.
Okay.
You're good. I muted it.
Yeah. So on my way here to work, right? Me and my mom were chopping it up, right?
Mhm.
I think it was early today. We were talking about like storage units and stuff like that. And I told her like, man, like I'm trying to move out soon too. And on the way to work, like it was just me and her, right?
Right.
And then what she say exactly? But it was something like, man, like you trying to move out already? Like you don't want to stay help your mom? I'm like not on my own stage, man. Like she talking about, oh, you trying to walk around naked and act real? Oh, I got stuff to take care of. I
Facts
got
though.
my own stuff.
Nah, it's
She talking
normal
about
though. My mom was the same way.
she talking about you you could at least wait till you 25. Fuck. Yeah, 25.
That's hilarious.
Moms though, man. I think it's just them not wanting to see like they kid grow up and stuff.
No, of course not. That time flies.
Yeah, because my little brother, that nigga getting so big, so and it's like I think that like that's what's really getting us, like seeing him grow up how he is, and that me I already moved out once, you feel me, and like yeah, I don't know,
Well, the good thing is that you'll be closer to her than before.
yeah, yeah,
So it's not really like you'll be gone, you know. So that's the good part about it.
yeah it is, yeah, because when I was in Iowa, she was fussing a bit because the people out there in Iowa are a bit racist,
Mhm.
you know, and they had stole my bike, all type of stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And like I was at like a nice apartment complex, and they still stole it. Probably because I'm a monkey.
Yo, most likely to be honest. That's crazy.
Bro, my bike, my bike was at like the bike rack with other bikes, and they only stole mine.
Yours had a lock and everything too.
Bro, they snapped it off.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, for yours to be the only one that got took.
Man. And like the
They knew.
Nasdaq, Mike was nicer than mine.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yo, maybe you took it. You don't remember.
What you trying to say?
No, I'm just saying. Like maybe it was you. That Rice Krispie. Yeah, once I'm done with this, the Rice Krispie was really good, by the way. Yeah, that shit was fire. Mm, just lying. That shit was disgusting, man. I bet she poisoned it. I've been feeling a little funky after I ate it, man. She did something to that Rice Krispie treat.
Food and stuff too or no?
The what?
Bro, you ain't even send me a picture of the
I'll
treat.
send it now before she leaves. She leaves. It starts at 12 tonight, so once I finish this, I'm gonna go downstairs. It's an
What
over.
tonight?
The event.
It's an overnight event?
Yeah, from 12 to like 3 or some shit like that.
Where is it at?
I'm not gonna say all that on stream, but
Oh, but like, what kind of event is overnight? Passing out cookies?
yeah, it's not as crazy how they do it.
Yeah. Okay. That's wild. I never heard that before.
All right, let's get this shit started. Any questions in the chat? Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over? Let me know. If not, we'll be going over the pairs that you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUDUSD, finishing off with USOIL. Should be a pretty quick stream. We'll go over the daily time frame. We'll talk about everything we gotta do that we gotta talk about. Right? Daily time frame, 4 hour, 30 minute. Check if there's any continuations. We are at the end of the month, but for the daily time frame, we still gotta wait till pretty much the second day, and then we'll update the daily time frame. Some of them might still be consolidating. We'll see. We'll go through every pair. Recap of the week. We'll do that. Pretty much, we'll just talk about the trades that we took. This is what we did last week too, if I remember correctly, or the week before. We'll start doing that. If we take a trade in the week, we'll do a recap on those trades. And then we'll talk about US30 too, because we were looking at US30. As you can see, we have it marked up, but this was a little bit after, right? This was that engulfing candle that printed with the retest at around 2 p.m. So we'll talk about US30 as well. We'll do those first two pairs. So NZD, USD. Let's go back to the daily time frame, right? So we gotta understand the overall moves as to why something is happening, right? So overall, we know that we're in a downtrend. We're in level 3, technically still in the second zone consolidation. We never had a break of the lows. So we're still in the second zone of consolidation. Right? In the overall picture, the fact that we're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, we already know that these trades in this area are low probability. Right? And this is on the daily time frame. So already kind of understanding that, we already know that all the confirmations that we see on the lower time frame, we just have to be aware of them, right? Aware of, okay, is this a low probability trade? Is this a high probability trade? On top of everything else, go to the 4 hour time frame. In the 4 hour time frame, what is price doing? We know that we're in a zone of consolidation, right? We know that we had a change of character on the 4 hour. We had the break of structure on the 4 hour. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. So when we're looking at points of interest, right? Because what we're looking for here is those continuations back down to the bottom. Because on top of everything else, we had 2 weeks of drops. So this week we were expecting price to give us that third push to the bottom. Understanding the fact that we are trading at the lower low, right? What are we looking for? You have to remember we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, right? We're looking for a lower high to be set. Now, for two reasons, this was our point of interest. the 50 EMA, which is what we're looking for in level 3, and a retracement when we look at our fib levels between 23.6 and 38.2. But let me do it like this. It's a lot easier. Right. I just joined. I'm doing the session now for the weekly market breakdown. I just started it though. Oh, but alright, alright, my brother. So on top of the fact that we're trading on the 50 EMA and we had that 23.6, 38.2 retracement, this might look like, oh, this is a really good trade, right? This is an A plus setup trade. But again, remember what we talked about on the daily time frame. The fact that we're trading at the low of the zone of consolidation makes all of this low probability. And that's okay. Could you take trades in low probability areas? Absolutely. No doubt about it. It's how you manage those trades. Right, so when we go down to the 30, let's go ahead and delete some of these drawings too. When we go down to the 30, and we take the trades, right, we know we use STP, which you could see for both the trades, which was Tuesday and Wednesday. Price went straight to STP, then reversed. Right, this one did a little bit more than STP, but that's okay. And then price went right back to the top side. Now, the question should be again like, hey, what were your points of interest on top of that to get out of the trade? Right, and it's really simple, right? We always talk about, well, a lot of people always talk about imbalances and order flows and all that other stuff, right? We knew once we had the break of these lows down here, we have clean traffic up until where? Right, clean traffic up until these lows. As soon as price hit these lows, I could have drawn a better box there. Right, that's the only thing price had to retest to continue that push back to the top side. As the week continued, right, we could also assume here the little zone of consolidation. Right, because price rejected these highs, we went to these lows, price came back to these highs. So already, when you're trading Tuesday going into Wednesday, you already have the understanding like, okay, cool. What we're looking for is for price to give us these breaks to then continue back lower. So any trade you take in the area, understanding that these are your highs and these are your lows, and before you can continue to look for trades, or in order for you to continue to hold on to trades, price needs to give you these breaks. Right, and again, we had other tools handy to us to let us know. STP, ADR. The fact that STP was hit, ADR was hit, that's it. After that's hit, you get out of the trade and you come back again the next day. Right, and if you did that, perfect. You saved yourself the headache of being a drawdown, you saved yourself a headache from hitting stop loss, you took profit. And you already knew that by the end of Wednesday going on to Thursday, you already knew price wasn't going to give you this push back down to the bottom. So this is where you stay away from the chart, and that's it. You already captured 2 beautiful trades, right? 3 when you scaled into the second day. Right? That's it. You're good for the week. If price would have given you the break, the retest, and then again when you're at the lower high point, you start getting lower lows, lower highs, you take the trade again. Right? It's the same thing that we did here. It was a pullback. Once we started downtrending, boom, we took the trade STP. Price came back up. Once it started downtrending again, change of character, break of structure, we took the trade again, go right back down. It's the same thing that we wanted to see here. Right, price gave you these highs. If price would have given us a change of character, break of structure, we know we could take this trade back down to the bottom. Right, so same thing that we were looking for, right, because this is on Friday. Same thing we were looking for on Friday. Alright, you gave me a push to the top side, all good. By the time I get onto the charts, if I'm looking for those sell biases, I need to see the change of character. Right? After the change of character, I want to see the break of structure. What did price do instead? It gave the change of character straight to stop loss, back to the higher high. This is why I wait for the break of structure. I'm not getting in on a change of character. Right? Especially a change of character that doesn't have any other confirmation. Right? Exhaustion candles, engulfing candles, All of those are very important. So that was pretty much it for NZD. Kind of sad we didn't get that third push to the bottom side though. I was really rooting for price to give us that push, but a good week nonetheless. Can't complain. Alright, we'll do US oil after because we didn't really take a trade on US oil. I just want to go over 30 because it's pretty similar to the conversation we just had. Right? It's the areas that we're trading in, right? The confirmations we want to see. We just never had that, right? So I don't even want to go over 30 because 30 is not even that important. Yeah, I'm not going to go over 30 right now. We'll do it in order. We did NU, that was the trade. 30 is just like any other trade. 30 is like ECAD, 30 is like GA or GCAD, whichever one that's in PKI, right? GA. Right, we're in PKI territory. There's nothing to really talk about on US 30. PKI territory didn't get the breaks. We already know there's two things that are going to happen. Either price is going to, trap traders or it's going to go counter trend. So right now we're in those areas. Give me 1 second. My bad, I responded to the text. My bad. I'm back. Alright, so let's get this started. So AU, we know that we are in level 3 on a downtrend. Right, and again, to recap for everybody, this is push 1, level 1. First zone of consolidation on the downtrend is called A1. Level 2 on a downtrend, the second zone of consolidation, which is A2. And then we have level 3. Right, before we could look for the continuation for level 3, right, we need to see the break of structures the same way that we wanted to see a break of structure on level 2. Right, on the first zone of consolidation, we want to see the break, the retest, to then look for the continuations. Right, and then price starts consolidating again until price gives you the break, right, which we got, which is the lower low. You guys can see that I have it marked here: lower low, lower high, lower low, and we're looking for that lower high point to be set. Now again, throughout the charts you have different points of interest, right, and it's okay to look for entries at those points of interest. Right, a lot of problems with a lot of traders that you see online, their problem isn't looking for entries. Looking for entries is a simple thing to look for. It's about when to exit the trade. And a lot of traders, that's really what kills them the most, is looking at where to exit trades to then look for those continuation points. Right, because not every single time will you'll take a sniper entry and then price is going to go straight back all the way down to where you wanted to go. Right, things have to happen before that. For an example, does it happen? Absolutely, it happened here, straight down. But when we look at past data, we don't even have to go so far out. Right, when do you see that happening again? Right, you have another one here. So this one happened in April, this one happened at the end of July. So pretty close, right? Straight down, right? I'm not saying that this is straight down because you still had lower low, lower highs, right? So this is good. I'm talking about just straight red candles to the downside or to the top side, right? For the most part, you see those candles, lower low, lower highs on the lower time frame, right? Lower lows, lower highs on the lower time frame, right? Lower low, lower high, kinda, not really, because we still have lower high points. Right here too, you still have lower high points. The point I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to get at, price is going to give you those internal pullbacks. And understanding, okay, in order for this to be a valid lower low point, as you can see, I'm still on the daily time frame. In order for me to say that this is a continuation back down to the bottom, right? Again, remember, we want to see the change of character and then we want to see the break of structure. We had the lower low change of character, lower high. Price gave you a lower low, yes, because it did close below, right? It's a lower low point. You could say that this point is lower than this point. But is it a valid break of structure for us to say that this is a valid lower low and we're looking for price to give us a lower high in this area to then go back down into a lower low? No. Price never gave us that valid break. So because of that is the reason why I'm no longer looking for price to continue to go lower, and I'm still expecting price to reach my second point of interest. Because again, our first point of interest was the 800 EMA. Our second point of interest is the 30-minute gap that's at the top of the market. And we'll be looking for the same thing. Once price reaches our point of interest, if price starts giving me a change of character, break of structure, then I'll start looking to take the trades. If not, then we'll do the same thing we did with AU. If it doesn't give you the break, let price go. It's just going to continue that push back to the top side. Let me know if that made any sense. And again, for the people watching the recording, if you have any questions, feel free to message me. You know my DMs are always open for you guys. Right, so right now for the daily time frame, we could go ahead and update that. No continuations on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we have a month of counter rise, so no continuations. And as you guys can see, again, the lower low point that we saw on the daily time frame, right, on the 4-hour, didn't give us the valid break. Which is why I'm not saying that this is going to be, you know, lower low, lower high. We have a shoulder, head, shoulder. We have the break of the shoulder. Let's get in going shorts here and then go straight to stop loss. Understanding that this is not a valid shoulder, head, shoulder because of the overall market structure is very important. And I'm not going to call out no traders by name. I'm not going to do it, even though I really want to. He trades shoulder, head, shoulder patterns, and he will not be able to fucking explain this the way. He's just going to say it's part of the game, guys. We got faked out. That's all they'll say. That's what they'll say. They'll never give you a reason as to why. And the reason why this is not a valid shoulder, head, shoulder, and we knew that it wasn't a valid shoulder, head, shoulder, it was because price never gave us a valid break of these lows. Because again, a shoulder, head, shoulder needs to have a break and a retest. Does it give you a retest 100% of the time? No. But it gives it to you about 92% of the time. You'll always get a shoulder, head, shoulder, break, a retest to then continue. So just keep that in mind. But we're not going to call out no names. We'll continue to let people think that this is gambling, and it is what it is. The house has to win sometimes, guys. The house won today. And then AU will have to update the 30-minute time frame when the market opens. We'll do it Monday morning. Well, it's Labor Day Monday, so Monday evening. We'll still be on the charts, man. Like, I don't know why I'm acting like I'm not gonna be on the charts. I'll update this Monday morning for sure. We'll go on to the next one. Again, the next pairs I'm gonna do them pretty quick. Again, it's like the same thing, just repeated, right? Again, the pairs that need to be talked about, we'll talk about it. I really don't want to add these lines, man. I'm telling you, I always say, bro, I'm gonna add these lines so I don't have to do them at a later date every single time I update it. And it feels like I have to update it every single time I'm on the chart. It's just kind of fucking crazy. Alright. AUDCAD. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation on a downtrend, so very similar to what we were talking about with NU. So you guys already know my deal with this. Not really going to be trading this. On top of that, on the 4-hour time frame, you guys can see on the lower time frames, we're stuck in another zone of consolidation. Now this one is a good part because we're at the top of the zone of consolidation without a valid break. And you guys can see every single time price is at the highs, price goes down. Right? And on an internal time frame, you can see that we're in a 30-minute zone of consolidation as well. But we already know. Zones of consolidation, man, I'm not even going to mess with it. We'll just let price do what it has to do. We have a week of no net. Price is just moving sideways. No continuations. 30-minute time frame, we're still trading between the previous higher high and higher low, which is good. But again, we're in a very big zone of consolidation. So this entire week, just moving sideways. So AUDUSD not really going to be on my list for this week. EA is another one we'll have to be patient for. Right, on the daily time frame, price never gave us the break of these highs. And again, the same reasoning for what happened with NU is the same reason why EA did not give us that third push to the top side. Never had the valid breaks. Without a valid break, we cannot expect price to give us a continuation. We have 2 months of no net, price just moving sideways. We want to be patient with this one, guys. We want to be patient. Once we start seeing on the lower time frame that price is giving us higher highs and higher lows again, then we'll start taking the trade. If not, then we'll just have to wait for it. And on the 30-minute time frame, we had a day of no net on Thursday. Friday gave us a day of drop. Price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right? And I don't want to even say that this is lower low, lower high, lower low, because price never gave us a valid break of the lows. So technically speaking, we're still trading between this lower high, and all of this is part of the same trend, and this lower low down here. So that's how I'm going to mark it. And it'll give us some nice room, right? It'll give us back up to these highs. We'll have another chance to see if price wants to give us a valid break. Right? And then we'll have the break on the 4-hour time frame. We'll have the break on the daily time frame. And then we'll have the trend shift on the 30-minute at the same time. So it's not a bad spot to be looking for those trades. EURCAD is in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. We already completed our 3 push cycle, right? Push 1, push 2, push 3. First zone of consolidation, second zone of consolidation. In peak high, trading at a higher high. I'm not going to be trading this, so I'll just be skipping through this one. Just going to keep it updated, of course, but I'm not going to be active on EURCAD, so further notice. The 4-hour time frame, 3 weeks of rise. After 3 weeks of rise, the market must chop or drop, right? Move sideways or go down. And we went down. So again, the good thing is that price is still following its rules, but it's not what I want to see. And then Friday we had a day of no net where price is just moving sideways, and we still have price giving us lower low, lower high, lower low. EU on the daily time frames is going to be very similar to GU as we've been talking about for the last couple weeks. We are in level 2 on an uptrend, right? We had level 1, first zone of consolidation, level 2 on the uptrend, right? We know that we're trading at the higher high as well. So this is already one pair for us that's in a low probability area to take a trade. The good thing is, again, the daily time frame, the 4-hour time frame, we're still on an uptrend, right? On the 4-hour time frame within that uptrend, we're stuck in a zone of consolidation. Still no valid breaks. Price is just moving sideways, rejecting highs and rejecting lows. So we already know I'm not going to be trading, and we're very close. So I'm going to have to wait to update this when the market opens and prints that 4-hour candle. So again, I'll do that on Monday. And then same thing on the 30. We're very close to it just being a no net. So I'm going to wait for price to open to update this chart. But again, we're in a zone of consolidation. So not going to be trading this regardless. For GA, daily time frame, same thing. Right, we're in peak high territory in the overall move. In peak high, price decided to just give us a zone of consolidation. So again, this is going to be another pair I'm going to just keep updated, but I'm not trading it. Once again, I'm not going to be trading GA. Month of rise. 4-hour time frame, we have a week of drop. And then on the 30-minute, price is giving us still lower lows and lower highs. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, all the way back down to the lower low. Again, this is another lower high point that I'm not comfortable with, because I would just say that this is all lower low, lower high, and all of this is part of the same trend, all the way down to the lower low. But for the sake of the fact that we're in peak high territory, I'm not even looking at this pair. I'm just gonna keep it like this, just to have a little bit of room to play with if price decides to give us a inducement of these lows again, right? Again, if it rejects these lows again, we know we could just ping pong these trades from the bottom to the top, from the top. You know, I wouldn't take the trades from the top to the bottom, but we could just ping pong in these areas here for GA. So we'll keep an eye on this pair. Worst comes to worst. I should have grabbed a bottle of water, man. I'm thirsty. GCAD, we're consolidating in level 3, right? We know that we're expecting price to go up a little bit higher, right? Back up to these highs. So right now we just gotta be patient with GCAD. Price is just consolidating. Again, price never gave us a valid break of these highs, so we couldn't say that this was gonna be higher high, higher low to then continue back into the higher high. Price did go back up, but then again rejected these highs and looks like price wants to go back down. So we'll be patient with GCAD. This is one that a few months ago I was very excited for. I'm like, yo, I can't wait for price to give us this break. This is gonna be a great entry. And as soon as price went up to these highs and gave us these exhaustion candles, gave us the inducement, didn't give us that valid break, I'm like, man, all that waiting, all that anticipation for nothing. He did us dirty. But it's all good. Alright, so GCAD is another one that pretty much going to be hands off. Not going to be trading. A lot of these pairs, again, is very similar. We talked about it last week. We talked about it the week before even. That we don't really have a lot of pairs that are looking good. Not a lot that are looking good. But it always feels like it's within due time. Because every time we always talk about not having good pairs to look at, you guys really break it down, it always happens in the beginning of the month, the end of the month. It happens in the beginning of the year, the end of the year. And there's a reason for that, right? Market conditions, so on and so forth. Especially on like what we've said before, right? These are election years. We already know the first couple years are going to be pretty crazy. And the news hasn't stopped, man. We have news almost every week about something happening. So nothing out of this world that we don't know what's going to happen, which is good to keep an eye on stuff like that. So GJ daily time frame, another one. Not trading it. We're stuck in a zone of consolidation. Yes, we're still on an uptrend, technically speaking. Higher high, higher low. Right? On the rise to the higher high, price just decided to consolidate. So again, this is another pair that until we don't stop moving sideways, I am not trading it. We had 2 months. Guys, 2 months. And there's a very successful GJ trader who just continues to trade GJ even though it's been a very rough 2 months for that person as well. You know, nice little bounce back because they're professionals. They know what they're doing. Right? And then understanding and catching the fact that price has been moving sideways, he jumped on another pair. But took him long enough. Took him very, very, very long. And I'm not talking shit, I'm just observing. Right, and on the 30-minute time frame, price is moving sideways too, guys. I mean, there's nothing to trade here. Nothing. GJ, not even gonna mess with it. As I said about GU, very similar to EU. We're trading at a higher high in level 2 on an uptrend. Pretty much waiting to see what price wants to do. If it wants to give us a steeper pullback, then perfect. We'll wait for that pullback to happen. If price wants to continue this uptrend push from here and just continue to make higher highs and higher lows, then perfect. But we have to wait for some confirmations, right? At this point, we do have a change of character, which again could be just an inducement. Price came up, rejected these highs, came back down, and looks like price wants to continue an uptrend push again. But again, before I take a trade, what I need to see is clean breaks of these highs, right? And let's just update the 4-hour real quick. We have a month of no net, so no continuations on the 4-hour. Price was just moving sideways this week. Right, and on the 30-minute time frame, we know we have that change of character. After the change of character, we want to see a valid break. Once we get these breaks, that's when I'll start trading. And as you guys can see, the price is doing exactly what it has to do. The market will always do exactly what it has to do. We had 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. And we ended on a no net. Price went down, came back up, closed in the same area that it opened. Is a no net day. Price was just moving sideways, just trapping traders. Right? So again, we'll just have to wait for price to give us this valid break. Once we get this break, we'll start taking those trades. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, there was a 30-minute engulfing too or something that I saw. Yeah, 4 hour, but again, I'm not worried about that. Not a valid engulfing candle, right? And the reason I'm not saying anything, but I should, because this helps people understand, right? Versus high probability versus low probability, right? And it doesn't matter what trading strategy you're using. It doesn't matter if you're using just simple patterns, double bottoms, double tops. It doesn't matter if you're trading order blocks. It doesn't matter if you're trading EMA bounces. It doesn't matter if you're trading engulfing candles, type 1, type 2, type 3 patterns. You know, ICT concepts, SMC concepts, SRCRV concepts, Jaguar F-type concepts, turtle soup, duck soup, egg whites and bread and toast. It doesn't matter what strategy you're trading on the market. When you're trading in a low probability area, that is when you get away from the trade. The fact that price did not give us a break of structure after the change of character, the price that we could see, this is where price is moving sideways. I am avoiding every single trade that I see here. And that's the reason I don't even bat an eye at the engulfing candle. I don't even want to know that it's there, because it's non-existent. It's a low probability area. There's no point for me to even talk about it. There's no point in me to even think about it, look at it. It doesn't mean nothing to me. Once we get this break of structure, if price never tapped into that 4 hour engulfing, then cool. We'll mark it up. We'll be like, hey, this is most likely where the pullback is going to happen. We'll get the break, we'll get the retest, we'll get the continuation. Right? That's the only time that I'll worry about talking about the engulfing candles and so on and so forth. NZD USD. Right, very similar to that other pair. Right, we're in level 2. Wait, NZD, I'm stupid. That's the trade we did. That's the other pair that I'm talking about. Sorry, I'm locked in. US30, as we said, we're in peak high territory. Price gave us a 4th month push to the top side as well after a 3rd month rise no net. So again, price is doing exactly what it needs to do. There's nothing wrong with how price is moving. It's just the area that price is moving. Right, didn't get a valid break on the daily, no valid break on the 4 hour. After 3 weeks of rise, the market must move sideways or go down, and we move sideways. So again, the market is doing exactly what it needs to do. It's following the rules that it needs to follow. But it's all about the area that you're taking trades. We're very close to this being a no net as well, so we'll update this when the market opens. It's very close to being a no net, but we'll keep that updated, or we'll keep that in mind when the market's open. We'll just update that. Now these last couple pairs on the list, guys, I'm not really trading them either. Right, USDCAD in these areas, I'm not really interested in. You know, unless I have a continuation trade, I'm not batting an eye on USDCAD just yet. Never updated this. We're in a zone of consolidation. Looks like price is on an overall downtrend, but on a higher time frame, we're still higher high and higher low. So 30-minute time frame too, it's like price is going everywhere. We're trading between really big zones, right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. We're very close to being a no net here as well, so we'll have to wait till the market opens for this one. Damn, my throat is dry, man. I need water. Let's get through this. 3 more pairs. USDZAR, very similar to USDCAD, but overall it's just where we're at. USDZAR looks a little bit better. We're just stuck in a zone of consolidation on an uptrend, looking for that 3rd and final push back to the top side. So Once again, this is one that we're just stuck in a zone of consolidation. Price is still giving us internal lower lows and lower highs. So once we start uptrending on USDZAR, we'll start looking to take those trades. Water. I need water. 3 weeks of drop. After 3 weeks of drop, the market must move sideways or go up, and we went up. So again, price is doing what it has to do. It's just not giving us the movement that it wants to give us. It's just not the right ones. We got the change of character, looking for a valid break of the highs on the 30. We haven't got that yet. Price came down, gave us a day of drop instead. Right, so once again, price just isn't ready yet. Gotta wait for that break to happen. Once we get that break, then we could start trading. Gold is in peak high territory, so I'm not trading it. You know, for those trading gold, congratulations, or I'm sorry. Whatever suits better for your needs, or for whatever your circumstances. If you're doing good, I'm excited for you, bro. I'm happy. If you're trading gold and you're not doing good, I'm so sorry, man. I'm sorry to hear it. I won't be part of either story, man. I'm not trading gold. Till further notice, gold is out of commission for me. Unless something good pops in. Bitcoin is another one. Not really trading it. Peak high territory. I'm not messing with Bitcoin in these areas on the Forex side of things. On the regular day trading side of things, Bitcoin isn't even on my mind right now. And the market doesn't close for another hour for today, so I'm going to keep that in. And then the last pair for the weekly market breakdown, US oil. We are in level 2 on a downtrend, right? We had level 1, first zone of consolidation. We had the break, lower low, lower high, and we're looking for that lower low point to be set. We had 3 weeks of rise. After 3 weeks of rise, the market must move sideways or go down, and we went down. Perfect. On the push down to the bottom, we had a zone of consolidation, right? In the zone of consolidation, we finally had the break, right? And we're looking for a retest. Now, could this be where the retest is going to be? It could be. I was expecting a little bit steeper, but we know that we're at the 200 EMA, so this could be the point of interest. Again, I was expecting a little bit more of a steeper pullback, but that's okay, right? Not every single time are you going to have the perfect entry, right? So if the market doesn't give us that entry point, it's all good, right? The end of the week finished pretty close, so we'll wait till the market's open to update that. Right, and again, what I'm looking for is if price doesn't give us a valid break, or I'm sorry, if price doesn't give us that engulfing candle retest, then what I need to wait for is for price to start giving me lower lows and lower highs on the lower time frame. And right now we have a higher high change of character. This could be a higher low to continue back into a higher high. So, want to be very patient, right? Just be patient with it. If price starts giving me lower lows and lower highs, then perfect. We'll start taking the trades when it starts downtrending. But right now, I'm not interested in it just yet. So yeah, as of right now, there's really not too many pairs to keep an eye on, right? Nothing that really caught my attention. A lot of pairs, sorry, are just in peak high, peak low territories, zones of consolidation, moving counter trend. So we'll see what this week brings to us once the markets open again. Monday is Labor Day. For USD is bank holiday, so most likely the NYC session would be very slow, but we'll see how the markets take care of us this week. Dead week, but this is where we practice patience. Yes, sir. The best time to practice patience. But alright, guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys on Monday.